to contribute to this motion. And from the onset, Honorable Speaker, I'd like to say that I support this motion. Honorable Speaker, only yesterday, as in the House, we looked at the review of the gender development policy 20 years after the first framework in 2000. A key concern, Honorable Speaker, was how we would want to ensure that we do not have any contexts in which there would be disadvantage to any of Kenyans, be they boys, girls, women, and men, because of some perceptions or limitations that accrue to culture. Honorable Speaker, as I support this motion, I am reminded, Honorable Speaker, that a number of times children do not have their rights protected, and children do not, in a way, as has been clearly presented by Honorable Wamaua, do not get registration, because in cases where parents have a problem and we find that the requirement is that the father of the child must be presented, and Honorable Speaker, on a number of cases we will find that children tend to be with the mothers. I find this motion extremely useful because, Honorable Speaker, it not only is going to be an opportunity to address the best interest of the child, but, Honorable Speaker, it brings to light what we need to continue to look at, contexts where we, in a way, burden women as mothers with guilt and shame, and by extension, Honorable Speaker, stigmatize and make children who really do need very clear protection, very clear documentation that would enable them to not only participate effectively, but to feel that they can competently determine where it is that they would see as home. And so, Honorable Speaker, as I support this motion, I see that the creation of database centers will be a very important tool or mechanism for protecting the interests of the child. Honorable Speaker, when we think of the context right now where we have, even with the teenage pregnancies and the very many contexts where there are children that by and large, to an extent, do not seem to have any sense of proper protection, then we can see that if we were to have a clear clear database center, and if we would have a possibility where in this center we would be able to get these registrations, it would be very useful. Honorable Speaker, as I support this, I was going to emphasize, though, that I appreciate that Honorable Wamaua has indicated that we give ourselves a span of 3 years, so it would be from birth to 3 years. But given, Honorable Speaker, the challenges that accrue, it is my suggestion, and I would like to urge that we go in terms of ensuring that this is implemented. If we can get it to be digitally done, Honorable Speaker, it really should not be that difficult to get this at birth, so that we have a context in which we are protecting the interests of the children, in which we are ensuring that mothers, regardless, Honorable Speaker, of the status at that particular time of birth, that we would have these children registered. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, because yesterday as I listened, Honorable Speaker, to our contributions on the gender policy, I still come to the issue where we would want to see that this kind of mechanism helps, Honorable Speaker, that we begin to review our attitudes, Honorable Speaker, because we have as society, in terms of some of the values, internalized behavior that do not provide equity and balance, and which, Honorable Speaker, seem in a number of cases to be putting women in a challenge. I therefore, Honorable Speaker, as I support this, do it because I'm sure that it will be a key way of ensuring that we no longer burden women with guilt and shame, we no longer withhold information, and we no longer make it a situation or a requirement that a woman cannot get to register her child without the approval of a man, that he must